Well, bore da. Croeso nôl, welcome back. So, back up in the Brecon Beacons, the Bannau Brycheiniog National Park today, and we're just exploring the area of Brycheiniog. So I've parked down the car park down by the river. I'm going to head up the hill, hopefully get some nice views. Hopefully it doesn't rain today. And the plan is to get to the other side of the mountain where there's Brycheiniog. It's a standing stone, pretty old one, so I'll give you some facts and talk a little bit about that later on. But yeah, it's good to be back up in this area again. The last time I was here was on the Beacons Way with the boys back in the summer. But the thing I love most about like repeating the same walk again is if you come at different seasons, the colours and the views just look completely different. So it's always good to do the same walks again in every season. It changes each time. So yeah, I'll get on walking, get up to the top, and then we'll have another chat up there. Catch you later. Yeah, so it is actually pretty boggy today, and I didn't bring my boots, only brought my trainers, so hopefully I don't end up with bog foot at the end of this. Oh, hell. Yeah, it is also quite a windy one today. I checked on the Met Office and it did say at the tops at least very strong winds, so we'll see how bad that is in about half hour. Yeah, already just from that bit of elevation from the car park, it's already quite a bit windier up here. In terms of drone filming, probably not great. So I doubt I'll be able to get some really high up cool shots of the mountains, but we'll do what we can do. Yeah, so if you were to go just that way, you would hit Pen y Fan in a couple of hours. So like I say, Pen y Fan's not actually too far from here. But the one thing I love about walking here compared to Pen y Fan, well, is the fact that, as you can see, there's literally no one around. So like I say, if you do, oh, sugar. It's always happening that. Drone's always trying to escape on me. Yeah, if you do want to come somewhere to walk that's got similar views up in the Brecon Beacons, up in the mountains, but you kind of don't want as many people around, if you park in Brycheiniog and just come for a walk, there's a load of different paths you can go off on. It's just great for getting out and not really seeing many people. So I definitely recommend giving this place a go. It's, like I say, not far from Pen y Fan, same sort of views, but way, way less people. So yeah, just back that way is Sarn Helen, and Sarn Helen is the old Roman road that used to connect Neath up to Aberhonddu, Brecon. So the Romans used to use that, I assume, for transporting goods, people, whatever it might have been, moving legions, all that sort of jazz. But yeah, so it's so it still exists today in terms of the old route. Like I say, it passes Brycheiniog, the standing stone, which we'll get to eventually, I hope. So we've just got to walk up to the top there, down the other side, and then Brycheiniog standing stone's down that way somewhere. I haven't actually seen it before, but it should be good. Just about see a little cairn on top of the hill there. So we're not actually far from the top now. It's at the dead marshes. Big danger of bogfoot. For the jump. Yeah, it's kind of too windy at the top, so for me to get the drone out. Good chance it could fall out the sky. So, here's what it is, mate. Yeah, Met Office wasn't lying. It's pretty strong winds up here. Here we are. I don't even know if you can hear me, but we've reached the cairn at the top. And in the distance there, you've got Pen y Fan. Yeah, we're not stopping for long. Way too windy out here. So I'm going to try and get lower and then do a bit more talking there. I'm so gutted. I wish I caught that on camera. Just through that valley there, one of the huge military planes was just flying lower than the mountain tops. Never seen one of those fly that low. It was pretty crazy. I was a bit confused, thought it was crashing at first. Yeah, it just sort of flew sort of behind that mountain. It might pop up somewhere now, but it's pretty crazy to see. I'm also thinking as well, while I'm stood here, I'm thinking that down here somewhere could be a pretty good spot for a wild camp at some point. It's quite cool terrain, the view of that reservoir as well. So that could be one for the future. So navigating the exact path that I meant to be on has been a little bit difficult. It's been quite hard to spot them. But I'm on some sort of path now, so mine here should just be that way. There we go, that's nice there. Yeah, so finally I'm out of some of that wind. I feel like I'm definitely gonna have windburn on the side of my face because it was pretty strong gusts like. Hang on, let me try and not slip into this river. Yeah, finally out some of the wind. I think I've just got this one ascent up this hill, and then mine here standing stone should be somewhere at the top here. You'll see that in a second. So I'll give you some information on the stone before we get there. So mine here standing stone is the highest above sea level in South Wales. It's 12 foot tall, so it should be quite a big stone when I'm stood close up to it. I mean, I'm about 7 foot myself, so even the stone will still look pretty big. But yeah, it was erected sometime in the Bronze Age, And the Bronze Age in Britain starts around 2600 BC, and that lasted up until about 700 BC then. But yeah, so it's been up for a good 3,000, maybe 4,000 years. And I think about a third of the stone is under the earth, and that's what's allowed it to stand for all this time. Also back in the 40s, people did see Latin inscriptions on the side of the stone, but because of weather and all that, it slowly eroded away, so you can't read that anymore. But yeah, so it's been up for quite a while. No one knows the exact purpose, but because of where it's situated in the valley, it's most likely some sort of marker for people who are walking through. Yeah, maybe it had some sort of religious significance, because there are supposedly a lot of burial sites around. But yeah, who knows? I think a way marker is the most likely option. Yeah, so we shouldn't be too far from it now. So I was up on that ridge. I started doing some jogging at one point, and on the way down, just seen a few videos of people doing like trail running and fast packing, they call it, when you do multi-day hikes, but you try and do them a bit quicker. So you sort of jog for 30 seconds, walk for 30, and so on. Yeah, I gave it a go. It was pretty fun. It's just you got to be careful not to roll your ankle. Let's say when the terrain looks like this and it's wet as well. Got to be careful. There he is, Mount Llyr, just in the distance there. And we've actually got a little surprise waiting for us at the end. You'll see now. Very exciting stuff. Well, there's a stone. Oh shit. The question is, how am I actually get into it? So look. Oh hell. Look who it is. Right at the end. Not only do I get this incredible standing stone, there she is. It does look dramatic, mind. What does it say?
All I can see is a T and a D.
Tom Rees Outdoors, probably. That's what it says. Tom Rees Outdoors. I think the shape on it is just crazy, though. Like a diamond type thing. But yeah, you've done a good job putting that up. Yeah, fair play. Fair play. That's a good warden for you. Well, there we go. Mount Llyr. I'm going to walk about 100 miles back to the car now. Definitely not getting a lift. Bannau Brycheiniog. So as I've said, the Mount Llyr stone is pretty old, around 4,000 years. And there are a couple of folklore tales to go along with the stone itself. The main one that I've found is that it's said on occasion that the stone is supposed to move from its place, take a walk down to the river, and drink from the Afon Llyr. Now, they think the reason this tale came about was because at certain times of the year, between around April and September, when the sun is at a certain point in the sky, the shadow that the stone casts can be some 60 meters long, and the end of that shadow can sometimes touch the river itself. And they think that's where the folklore tale initially would have come from. So yeah, quite a cool little story to go along with this pretty awesome looking rock. Like I say, 12 feet tall. It just looks pretty dramatic the way it's sat there, and to have almost a third of it below the earth as well on this sort of earth mound that was purpose built. It's pretty impressive that they managed to put it up there in the first place. But yeah, so that's the little the legend of Mount Llyr. There you go, pause that if you want to read any of that there. So 11,500 years ago, end of the last ice age. 4,000 years ago, like I was saying earlier, the raising of Mount Llyr. Then you had the Roman invasion, Industrial Revolution, first man on the moon, creation of the World Wide Web. There it is. So yeah, like I say, probably acted as a way marker because Sarn Hill and the old Roman road runs along this way. So yeah, way marker makes sense to me, but there we go. That's Mount Llyr. Now I get a lift with the warden. How about that? Can I come in? And, this is a spot where we dipped our toes in on the Beacon's Way. Quite nice to have a lift off the warden there. So like I say, this is the spot where we stopped on the Beacon's Way, dipped our toes in, but probably won't do that today. A little bit too cold. But yeah, so it's a great area around here, plenty of different walks. I think next time I'm going to head more into the forest that way. There's also Van Neers, which is one of the points on the other side of the road. So yeah, there's plenty of walking to do around here, so I think I'll be back here soon. And like I say, hopefully do some sort of wild camp at the top there, where I mentioned earlier. But yeah, that's the Mount Llyr walk done. And like I say, I did cheat a little bit at the end by having a lift with Alec, but like I say, the weather looked like it might be starting to turn, might be starting to rain. And it was actually more of a walk than I thought from the standing stone back to this car park. And I planned to be home for a certain time, and we were already basically at that time already, so I decided, you know what, I'll just cheat and have a lift. But yeah, it's a good walk, it's a great walk. There's loads of places to do walks around here, so I'll be back soon. And like I say, I did spot a place at the top where I might like to do a wild camp at some point. But yeah, that's it for today. Me and Brett will probably be out on Saturday, planning to do a wild camp. Not sure if we're going to do tents or hammocks yet. Depends on the weather, and we'll just see how that goes. But yeah, hopefully get out this weekend, and then hopefully soon I can convince someone to come out and do Mike and Hike episode 2. But yeah, just gotta sort out timings with that. And but yeah, for now, diolch am gwrando, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hwyl fawr boys. Ta-ra.